Hey everybody, I'm Tracy.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
And this is another round with Tracy and our heaven approved guest host of the day, Hannah. Yay! Woo!
Hello.
Hey girl.
Hello.
Co-piloting the show with me today is the lovely Hannah Georges.
Hello.
How are you doing, boo-boo?
I'm great.
And she's a culture writer at BuzzFeed. I don't know what that means. What is that?
Well, it means I write about a lot of things. Everything from like how 8701 is Usher's most slept on album, and then kind of broader like social justice-y stuff tends to be what I cover.
Right.
Black girl things.
Black girl things. Everybody needs black girl things. I'm so excited that you're here with us in the studio today. I think this is going to be a super, super fun episode.
Woo-hoo.
Somebody's going to get drunk. I think.
It's probably going to be me.
I'm okay with that.
I would like for you to join me if you don't mind.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
I'll do my best. So you and I are going to be here hanging out, talking Olympics and such and so forth. And a little bit later, we're going to welcome Miss Brittany Luce into the studio.
Yes.
She's the co-host of For Colored Nerds, and she also hosts a show with Gimlet called Sampler. So we're going to talk to her about what it's like to be a black lady doing a thing in a really, really white male world.
And to be a nerd.
We have so many nerd questions.
Yes.
Also, I might tell a joke or two or three.
Oh, bless.
Maybe. I've heard. I've been getting some threats a little bit on the interwebs. I'm being dramatic. They're not threats. Just people really miss the jokes, so we're going to bring some jokes back. Lots of laughing, lots of bourbon. Yes. I'm excited. So the Olympics are finally over.
Thank God.
They lasted for what feels like 3 months.
Absolutely.
Did you watch the Olympics, Anna?
Okay, so bits and pieces. I feel like it's a little bit in my birthright as an Ethiopian to watch the Olympics and to root for the community, as it were.
Right.
So, I checked in here and there. I did my little rooting for Simone Biles, my rooting for Gabby.
Of course.
The various Simones.
All the Simones.
But aside from that, it was really that and like Usain Bolt. That's all I had.
Yeah. I had a thought about Usain when I was watching him do his little like ending, I don't know what you call it, his little ending power move. I don't know. And I had this thought that like if he had just turned his head the other way, he would have invented the dab.
Oh,
I wonder how he feels about that.
I feel like honestly, I feel like he's invented enough and he's given us so much already. Like,
That's true.
If only I did anything, if I were as accomplished and as talented and as petty as you saying, like that smile, like that is all I want in this world.
As petty? You think he's petty?
I think that smile was a petty smile. When he turned around, he smiled at the camera.
Oh, like before he finished the race? Oh,
he said, you know what? I know I got this. And guess what? I'm cute too. Hey. So I think, absolutely. I think he's given us enough. There's also a popcorn lyric in a song that I love in which he says, literally, he says, "Poom poom run like Usain Bolt." And it's just, it's incredible. It's called Cool It. It's poetry, honestly. So shout out to Usain.
Any line from naughty girl on the coat. Boom boom run like Usain Bolt. Yeah, wine pan a Shakira.
When I was younger, I used to love the Olympics. I'm talking about like 1984. I'm like barely 2-3 years old. And I remember I had this Olympics like jogging suit thing, and it had Mary
are there
Retton's
photos?
name. Oh, I hope not. No,
Okay.
we're gonna go with no.
Okay.
No
I'll have to
photos.
fact check that. Carry on.
You know what? Okay. But my version of enjoying the Olympics is scrolling through Twitter, getting all
Yes.
the
Yeah.
updates, seeing what
Absolutely.
the black girls did, looking at all the GIFs and the Snapchats and
The
stuff.
gifts, yes.
Yes, all the GIFs. And
So anyway, about the gifts.
I do not want to have to throw you out of here. We just got started.
Yeah, I mean, I kept up with the Olympics to the extent that I would know what the memes were, which is also how I've kept up with the election. I hate this election. I want it to be over so badly.
Yeah,
but I need to
it is
know
really
why the
meme-driven.
memes are funny. I have
That's
to know. And so it's kept me engaged for that.
Yeah. You had a really, really great tweet about the
Oh,
Olympics. It was such a good tweet.
Absolutely. There's a picture of a woman, and I wish I remember her name, but so her braids literally have like green, yellow, and red yarn woven into them, and she's an Ethiopian woman. And I saw that, and I was like, on an average day, I look at her like, you doing a lot right now. But during the Olympics, like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to wrap myself in this flag. I hate flags. I'm really not about the nation state as a concept. I'm always like, burn the thing down. I
during
didn't
the
say
Olympics,
that.
though.
You didn't hear that NSA. But yeah, during the Olympics, I get really, really revved up. And it's an interesting exercise, I think, in like why people rally around nations. And like why, again, I have a lot of friends who feel the same way about America, who are like, fuck this country. Like this country doesn't give a damn about me. Like same. I mean, I feel that also, but you see Simone and you're like, oh, we got that. Us shared collectively.
For sure. I think I read someplace that an overwhelming percentage of all the medals that were won for the United States were won by women. So you got that. And then the fact that there are so many Black women just kicking ass, like I felt pride in my country, sure, but more so pride in like being a Black woman. It was fucking beautiful.
Absolutely. And I think that's something I felt really intensely as a Black woman kind of diaspora. Like I feel lucky in that I'm able, like I feel kinship with Black American women who are like kicking ass, and also that I can be like, hey, Alma Zayana from Ethiopia who smashed the world record in the 10,000 meter. Like that's you know, kin. That's my kin also.
Right. It's your fault.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially recently with the Ethiopian man who won the silver medal in the marathon. It hails from Ethiopia, and his name is Faisa Lelesa. And as he kind of crossed the finish line to get his silver medal, he threw up a sign that's like an X above his head, which is the sign that's associated with the protests that are happening in the region of Ethiopia that he's from. And so it's caused a lot of attention and a lot of controversy in the context of Ethiopia and in the context of the diasporic community, that he would do kind of a visible gesture that supports that community. I mean, and a lot of people have, it's not at all a perfect comparison, but a lot of people have compared it to just the fists that happened in the 1968, right? In the 1968 Olympics. So I've been thinking a lot about the Olympics as a stage for activism and what it means when people are being held up by their countries as like a symbol of greatness, and yet in the context of the country itself, the country doesn't value them. So I think this man really feels like he genuinely said that he can't go back home because they'll kill him because of what he did.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so the stakes are super high. And
can you tell me a little bit about this particular protest? Do you know very much about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm by no means an expert, but so Oromia is a region in Ethiopia. It's in southern Ethiopia, and it's the biggest ethnic group in Ethiopia. So it's about 40% of the Ethiopian population is Oromo. And the government, as it stands right now, has been repressing the population and kind of at one point it was trying to move the capital further into Oromia and expand and kind of like just basically take over land and kind of displace people in doing that. And people have been protesting against that. And so hundreds of people have died. And the government has killed them. The government has really tamped down on journalism, on social media. At one point there was just a social media outage and the country was just like, nah. And they said it was because it was finals and they didn't want people.
What?
Right. That's like just like the most black ass lie. Like,
just a black ass lie.
Like, come on. Just diasporically, you know, just like, but yeah, they said like, no, we want you to stay focused during finals. We don't want students to be distracted.
Sure.
Never mind the fact that a huge protest is happening and that we know people are organizing using social media. So it's been a tough time in the country, and it hasn't gotten much international or Western attention until he did that gesture. And so it's been really heartening and scary a little bit to watch what's going on with that. So.
The thing that made me think of, which of course, like there was the Black Power fist in 78.
I want to say 68.
68.
Yeah.
And it also reminded me, I saw this documentary that's on Netflix right now called Hitler's Olympics, I think.
Oh, jeez.
No, it's a little heavy.
Okay.
It's a little heavy. But what you just said reminded me of this because there's like so the Olympics has been happening forever, as you know, but it was Hitler in the 1936 Summer Olympics that really like cemented the way that the Olympics are like performed now. Like there's this great opening ceremony and there's like this big spirit of nationalism and like, we're the best. No, we're the best. No, we're the best. And that all started with fucking Hitler, who was like, everybody needs to see like the might and the power of Germany. We're gonna do like this grand opening ceremony. And it was basically like, yeah, everybody else can, you know, y'all can have your little countries and your little shows, but really this is about like Germany and German might. And this was also the Olympics that Jesse Owens just like swept everything, every single thing. And even though, you know, the Germans were Germans at that point, you know, not like, oh my gosh, hey, black people, they were still so taken by Jesse Owens. And it really reminded me of what you were saying, like how you can at once be like praised and loved and welcomed during like this particular Olympic sports event. And then like you go back home and like the whole thing's over and it's like, well, shit, I guess I'm a nigga again, you know?
Right, absolutely. And I mean, I think it's not a coincidence that a lot of the folks who have for lack of a better phrasing, transcended race in the way that white people use that phrase.
Oh my gosh.
Right, which we know to be false. But the folks who white people say have transcended race have frequently been athletes. You know, it's been the OJs, it's been the Tigers, it's been these folks. And so I think to subvert a moment where this man could be kind of unilaterally praised and use it in this controversial, this way to stand in solidarity, I think was really powerful.
Yeah. It was also a really beautiful picture too. Like the expression on his face was just very like
absolutely. And he said he didn't tell his trainer, he didn't tell anybody he was going to do it, but it just felt like you could tell this was a very visceral kind of compulsion that he had.
And I mean, it's the perfect place to do it because like literally the entire world is watching.
Yeah,
him,
absolutely. What time is it, Tracy?
Tracy's joke time. Yay! Oh my God, I can't believe it. I need you to be in the studio all the time to do that because I can't even do it. So since I haven't told a joke in like 17,000 years, I have 2 jokes today.
Oh shit!
But they're gonna be pretty short, right?
Okay.
I was so confident that I could do it in a short amount of time, but I'm already laughing. Okay, wait. I just need a second. So there's this penguin.
Okay.
There's this penguin, right? His name is Jerome.
Okay.
You look so worried. You got your hands on your face like, oh my gosh. So there's this penguin, and his name is Jerome.
Okay.
Jerome is he's driving his car,
right, as penguins do.
As penguins do. He's got some place to be. He's got to get there somehow.
Right.
So he's in his car. Car starts to smoke. So he's like, oh man, let me pull over. I know Jerome's having a tough day. So he pulls off the road into this garage. Right? And I could do it. And the mechanic is like, okay, give me about 30 minutes to check everything out. You can chill here, or if you want, there's an ice cream stand, down the street. It's a hot day.
Right.
It's a penguin. Penguins like to be kind of cool. So he's like, you know what? I would like to survive this heat.
Right.
Let me go get like a popsicle or something.
Sure.
So he walks down the street and he orders an ice cream cone. And as you know, or you know what, maybe you don't know, penguins don't have fingers or opposable thumbs, right?
Correct.
And they don't even have legit regular bird wings. They're just like these little
flappy things.
Yeah, the little flappers, the little flippers. So naturally, it was a bit of a messy affair, right? So he gets ice cream all over his face, and it's just all over his little penguin suit and everything.
Wow, me.
So you're Jerome the penguin in this situation. So 30 minutes passes. The penguin goes back to check on his car, and the mechanic says, "Oh, it looks like you blew a seal." And the penguin says, "Oh no, this is only ice cream."
Tracy, damn it.
But
no.
All right, joke number 2. We ready?
Let's go.
Did we recover from the first joke?
No, but let's go anyway.
Okay, so there's old man. Old man's name is Bob. Bob's walking down the street, and he sees this kid sitting in front of a candy store.
Okay.
And the kid is just scarfing candy, just nom 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 nom,
sure.
just at diabetic levels of sugar inhalation, right? And the man is like, you know what? It's really not healthy for you to sit here eating this much candy. And the kid's like, that's fair. I hear you. But my grandfather lived to be 97 years old. And the man was like, oh, wow, that's really, really impressive. Mm-hmm. Did he eat candy too? And the kid's like, no, but he minded his own fucking business. That would be my child. If you are at home listening and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just too much fun. I can't deal with any more mirth and joy or interest in Black girls. You are not in luck because it's going to get even better / worse. We are in the studio with my boo, Miss Brittany Luce. Brittany hosts the podcast Sampler at Gimlet Media. It's a podcast about podcasts, which is super meta. And she also hosts the independent podcast for colored nerds, where she and her host Eric have conversations that Black people have when white people are not in the room, something that we can identify with here at Underground. Yes. Welcome.
Thank
Hi.
you. I'm so happy to be here.
Are you?
Yeah, this is a moment.
Oh.
I'm having a moment.
So Miss Luce.
Yes.
So that's what you do. Why do you do that?
Why do I do it? That's a big question. I guess like the
We're a serious podcast, madam.
serious.
We ask the serious questions.
I started for Color Nerds. Me and Eric started for Color Nerds about 2 years ago in September 2014, and we mostly just started it because like we didn't have anything to lose. That's such a
Because why the fuck not?
yeah, because like why not? And then that led to me getting the full-time job doing sampler, but like in like the existential sense, I do these things because I don't know how not to. I like I love Black people, I love Blackness, and I love fucking talking, and I love fucking speaking. So like it's like the universe like opened up and gave me this opportunity to do both of those things at the same time.
Shit.
It's like you gotta take it.
Nice work if you can get it. So your independent podcast, your first baby, your firstborn, is for Color Nerds.
Yeah.
Talk to us about why it was important that there be a podcast or a space for people who identify as Black nerds. Like, what is a blurred?
So like that word is not my favorite word.
Okay, good.
Blurred is not my favorite. I just think, well, first of all, it's corny rolling off the tongue. You know what I mean? And I mean, also, so we call the show for Colored Nerds. Okay. Really, truly, and honestly. So this like story goes way back. So I used to live in Washington, D.C. Shortly before I left D.C., I was dating this guy who like I thought he was very cool. He was like a DJ, like for like part-time and like full-time. He was like worked in IT, and I was like, this is so cool. And he was just like really cool. We got along. I remember I have a Transformers Optimus Prime, like the cartoon Transformers, like Optimus Prime voice changing helmet.
Sure.
If you put it on over your head and you like click a little switch, when you talk through it, you sound like Optimus Prime. Which like what I'm saying, if you have no job, you're in college, you have a lot of alcohol around. What's better than that?
Right.
It's $20. Like after Christmas, like there's nothing better than that.
Endless amusement for $20.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I didn't have to go to the bar. I didn't have to take no cabs. Like nothing.
You just had to put on the helmet.
Exactly. So me and my friends used to use this for hours. So I remember like I really wanted this guy to like me. And then I was like, oh my God, I have this helmet. Like, what if I just brought this on like a date and we were pre-gaming? This is the idea that we had. This is where I was.
Already great.
This is where I was at like 22. I did like walk over to his house. I was like, what's gonna make this more fun is if I bring this mask. So I told him, I was like, look, I got a surprise. I got this cool thing. So he was like, all right. So I brought it over and we like both put it on and we played with it and we drank and then we went out. We had an awesome time. But yeah, like it like real like this it like the weirdest randomness like most corny object like made this man think that I was like the coolest woman on the face of the fucking planet, right?
I can't believe you're not married. What I mean, what else do you need from a love story? What else?
He is married to a different person. Also, I moved away. Yeah. So I realized though that night I was just like, well, no, actually the next morning when I was going home, I realized and he was like, hey, can I hold on to that mask for a little while?
What?
And I was like, yeah, okay. I was trying to be cool. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to be like chill.
But
like,
inside you was like,
I was like, actually, this is mine. So I was like, yeah, you can hold on to it. And he like tweeted it and like his friends were like, this is so cool, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is so cool. And I was like, wow, like I'm popping. Like I really, and that's when I realized I was like, I've hit upon my dating demographic. I am for Colored Nerds. That is literally the thought that I had in my head because it was around the time that like the Tyler Perry version of For Colored Girls had come out.
We don't need to talk about
Right.
God,
And I was already
so
like,
bad.
I already loved the choreo poem by Ntozake Shange.
Yeah.
Like I loved it. I like helped produce like a live version of it when I was like in college. I was like, this is great. Fast forward to Eric and I actually starting the podcast and figuring out what we were gonna call it. We were like kicking around names and none of them were really working. We were coming up with all this really like cornball ass shit.
Do you remember any of the
I'm
proposed
trying
names?
to remember. I think one of them was like one name that Eric had. He's gonna kill me for saying. It was like it had to do with like Facebook and technology. So it was like us, meaning like us on Facebook,
Eric.
but also like us, like just like us, like
Eric.
black folks. He's gonna hate me. He's gonna be so angry.
Get out of here.
But yeah, then we were kicking around, and I was like, that is really working, and he was like, yeah, I know. I was like, we could call it this other thing. I was like, but it's like this terrible inside joke that I have with only myself. And it's so fucking corny. Like, there's no way we can call this For Colored Nerds. And then actually I spit it out and he was like, I actually like that.
Yeah.
We both actually liked it and it stuck. So like the name For Colored Nerds like didn't really actually come from us being like, oh, we want to specifically talk. Like, when people think about what's traditionally nerdy, it's like comic book, sci-fi, fantasy, which is not to say that I don't like any of those things.
Right.
I'm not necessarily an expert in any of those things.
Right.
I actually have a big problem with like nerd terminology and like geek stuff, just because I think that there are activities that women are really obsessed about, or that traditionally women are really obsessed with, and like are, you know, have like nerd level or geek level understanding of or knowledge of, that are not considered like nerd, like they're not considered a part of like nerddom. And like, you know, like the things that many people do with makeup are unbelievable, or like fashion are unbelievable. And yes, okay, there are a lot of like men and people of other genders who like, you know, have made a huge mark in makeup or fashion, but those are like crafts that are specifically associated with women. And I personally believe that society devalues women, so we devalue anything that women care about or think is important.
Right. Yep.
And so as a result, like growing up, like I used to read, it doesn't exist anymore, but style.com, it's now vogue.com.
Right.
I could like, if you show me Dior Couture from 2006, like I'll be able to tell you whether it was fall or spring. Like that's how I was when I was a kid. And I got on Tumblr, I realized that there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of women just like me, but that's somehow not thought of as like a nerd activity. Just like, you know, with makeup or even like certain you know, like fitness, fashion, home sort of things, craft things. Those things are all thought to be quaint as opposed to like nerdy. When like I think a lot of women, you know, who engage in those activities exhibit a lot of the same behaviors as men who care about comic books, or
I see.
You know what I mean?
Right. Like, what makes a nerd to you?
To me, if anything that like that you feel like you need to have like super granular knowledge of, like that's the thing that you're nerdy about. So like that's why sometimes people are like, oh, you want to talk about nerdy stuff, and I'm like, look. The last comic book movie I saw was Iron Man 2. I think I got halfway through.
I don't even know what
You know what I'm saying? People are always like, I asked somebody recently about, what is that called? Captain America Civil War. I was like, when is that coming out? And I got this shit played out of me because I just don't like that. For me is not something that I'm super interested in. I'm not keeping tabs on that necessarily. Sci-fi is something that I like. But also, I mean, you know, the whole genre of sci-fi, I think it tends to be kind of like set up so that like Black women specifically are kind of shut out of that type
which
of
is
stuff.
wild when you think about like Octavia Butler being the predecessor of so much of what's happening right now.
Exactly. Or even when you think about like themes in science fiction in general are about, I mean, like one of the most basic ones are like being like a stranger in a strange land, or being like having your world invaded by somebody else.
Right.
Okay, like what's blacker than that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what's blacker than that?
Right, absolutely.
What's blacker than that? Like nothing.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so like I that's why like I am proud to host for Colored Nerds, but I also, you know, they say if you love something you should criticize it. I think that nerd culture I think could stand to be, I think there are definitely people out there doing that work. Like LaToya Peterson is somebody who immediately comes to mind.
Yeah.
And like what she does within that space to me is just like phenomenal. But I think that there are probably a lot of LaToya Petersons or Brittany Luces, do you know what I'm saying, who are out in the world who could like, you could stand to hear more from.
Hard agree. So you were saying, you mentioned growing up in the Midwest.
Hey.
Tell me everything.
That was a West Coast thing I just did.
Yeah, well, I was gonna let it slide.
Thank you.
I know.
I got myself doing a little hang loose sign over here in response. I'm from California.
Yeah, no, I'm from Michigan. I'm from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Well, I was born in Louisville, Kentucky.
Shut up.
Yes, the Baptist East Hospital.
Brittany, get out.
Yes, I lived there until I was 2.5, and then we moved to Michigan.
How dare you not tell me this earlier? Have you? Maybe you have.
I think I have, but I also, that may not be true. So on my mother's side, they're from Georgia and Louisiana. On my father's side, they're from Mississippi.
My daddy, Alabama.
Exactly.
Mama,
Louisiana.
You mix that Negro
with that Creole.
make the Texas Bama.
I had a hard time saying "Am I Bama?" People were just like, "Let it go." They're like, "Please just let the truth out."
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna pretend that we're cousins anyway.
Okay,
so.
I'm with that. But I'm from the Detroit metropolitan area is pretty segregated, and like, I mean, there's a lot that went into that, but like white flight in the late 60s and early 70s as a result of the situation that happened in Detroit in the summer of 1967.
What was the situation?
Some people call it riots. Other people call it a rebellion or an uprising. Basically, I mean, like I mean, in that summer, I want to say there's also something similar happening in Newark and other cities of the United States. But yeah, I mean, I mean, to use simplistic terms, it was a race riot. It went on for a few days. A lot of people died.
And then the white folks left.
Yeah, and white folks
like,
left.
bye.
Yeah, white folks. We also had a black mayor, Detroit's first black mayor, Coleman A. Young. Came about in the 70s. So any white people that were left, I think, were like,
It's time.
It's
It's a
fuck
wrap.
up out of here. So as a result, I think that the entire metropolitan area is pretty segregated.
Do you feel like there are ways that growing up in the Midwest or like in a particularly segregated space made you more primed to deal with, I think, what is the sometimes overwhelming whiteness of media?
Absolutely. That is something. I went to Howard University because I was tired.
Girl, that's why I moved to Philly. When I graduated, I was like, I need all the blackness. I just need all of it.
Right.
I
And
was
Harlem for me.
Exactly. Exactly. I was exhausted. I was like, I don't even think I could have verbalized that when I was like 17 and I started school. But like, I just had to get the fuck out of there. Like, it was just like, it's like the black experience anywhere. It's like you're invisible and hyper visible at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Right.
Invisible when it's convenient and hyper visible when it's convenient.
When it's convenient, yeah.
Exactly. So I was just tired of that shit. And so I ended up going to Howard, and which is obviously a pendulum swing in the opposite direction.
Sure.
I absolutely loved it. It was I think it was like the first important and probably the most important decision still that I've made in my adult life, or maybe in my life at all. I learned, like, there's so many things I learned at Howard. Like, there's a certain scrappiness and a certain ruthlessness that you gain as a result of going to an HBCU. And knowing even just the fact that you telling people where you went to college can make people feel some type of way,
Absolutely.
right? But now that I work in media, I am happier than ever that I grew up in a predominantly white area.
Because you feel like it just like prepared you.
Oh yeah, I mean like being overlooked is not new. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it doesn't like shatter your world when it happens.
No, it doesn't shatter my world when it happens. Which is not to say that I'm overlooked necessarily in my organization. I'm talking about in the wider world of consumption, right? Being pigeonholed is not new. Also, having people discount my work is not new.
Right. How do you feel like you move through that in your workspace or in the broader industry?
Like in the broader industry, just like, I mean, I guess I'll put it like this. Like, I'm used to, people thinking that I'm supposed to guide them through something. I'm used to people mistaking me for somebody else. I'm used to people being incensed at me speaking honestly about like what my life is like, because I grew up experiencing those things from time to time.
You were a pro at it when you were like still in middle school.
Yeah, but literally.
Seriously.
I went home from, we had some classroom discussion when I was in the 7th or 8th grade, and I went home and I told my mom one day that I felt like I was being swallowed by a giant Confederate flag.
My God.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like, so like working in media is like,
Right?
you know what I'm saying?
That is descriptive as fuck.
Right?
Mom, I just feel like I'm being swallowed by the stars and bars.
So, which that's, I mean, like,
Where's Bessie Ross?
Conversely, I received an excellent education where I grew up.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I like, and like where I grew up and like where my parents raised me and where I was educated affected so many things that happened in my life afterward. Right. And like, I feel extremely grateful for the platform that I have. I feel grateful to work where I do and with the people that I do. But I still know that like in the wider world, you know what I'm saying?
Hello.
I'm just a little color girl.
No. Aww. It was a good callback. So, wait, honey, you went to Dartmouth?
I did.
What the hell was that like?
You are doing the Lord's work. You are with the people in the trenches.
I mean, it was like a lot of what you described, right? It felt like by the time I got to media, by the time I got to these spaces, I was like, oh, I've done this before.
Yeah,
I know how to
it.
write the email. This is the thing in the way that you're comfortable with.
Uh-huh.
I know, and I felt like I spent my 4 years kind of justifying my existence. And then I got out and I was like, I'm not going to do that.
That fatigue that you feel when you get out of those institutions is so real. It is so real. Like when I graduated, I was like, I'm done fucking freedom fighting, because like we were talking about earlier, I had been doing it since I was like 5 years old and didn't even know that like that's
by
what was
necessity,
going on.
right? That's the worst part. Is like I went to go take my classes. I was like, I'm gonna get a world-class liberal arts education, and I was like, whoa. On the side, I'm also gonna work 12 jobs, and I'm also gonna like teach you how to do your job. And by the time I left, I was more teacher than I was student. Right? That's not fair.
So if Jesus came down from the heavens, right?
Uh-huh.
Or somebody came down from something similar to heaven. I don't know what your own personal beliefs are. I'm trying to make this accessible for everyone.
True.
Thank you.
And they're like, I am about to pay you for all of your unpaid emotional labor that you have performed thus far.
Yeah.
What form do you want payment in?
Wow.
What would you say?
Shit.
Lay it on us.
Okay. 50% I want cold hard cash up front.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I would like after that the proper. Okay, so then I'll have another 25% the property of my choice,
Mm-hmm.
and then the last 25% plane tickets.
Plane
Ooh.
tickets.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, 50% money, 25% property of my choice, the other 25% plane tickets.
Okay.
Should I be able to buy Oprah's Promised Land truly
Listen.
with 10% of my emotional labor earnings? So
Oh
there
my
you go.
gosh.
Amen.
Hannah,
Tracy, what
how
about
would-
you?
Oh. I would want 2 years of vacation days at the very least. And I want permission and liberty to take those days whenever I want with no explanation, with no having to ask permission. Just like, listen,
And see,
I'm tired today. That's it.
I wasn't even thinking about work. In my mind, I was like, well, clearly I'd be able to quit my job.
Well, I mean, I talk
Step
about,
ahead.
I mean, like not only like in like the work field, but like at home. You know what I'm saying? Let's say I got 3 or 4 little snot-nosed kids. I'm tired. Don't ask me for shit.
3 or 4.
I mean,
Hey.
no. That was
Got some plans?
that was the no. Ew, no, ew. But just like the right to just take a break and disengage and not have to be somebody's everything for like a day or 2 or 3. I would want that. I would like to be paid in dates with Tom Hanks. Don't
Okay.
at me. Don't question me. Don't.
No, I just watched You Got Mail. Me and Babe were watching You Got Mail on Sunday night.
Is he not the I'm getting emotional.
I respect that for you.
He seems like such a sweet guy.
I respect that for you.
you.
It's like the most peachy way to be like, I guess, girl.
I'm trying to be nice.
I appreciate
She
that. That was
respects
that
you.
was
You
skillful.
respect
That was
Tracy.
skillful.
Right.
I appreciate it. It was shady, but I appreciate it. What else? I don't know. Snacks, like gift cards. You know, I love me a gift card. Money is good. I enjoy money, but like,
Right.
there's something about a gift card. Like, I've got
just
all
makes
this
you feel
money
so
To like a
reckless.
restaurant?
Yeah, to like or like Sephora or like my favorite like
Ooh, that would be good.
right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, what about you?
Oh my God. Obviously money,
Clearly,
and
As
as
she rests
many
her
plane
chin on
tickets,
her
yes,
fist.
as many plane tickets to Ethiopia as I could possibly want.
Yes.
Plane tickets is
But
good.
most importantly, I want my hair paid for at any moment in time.
Girl,
I want Beyonce's lace fronts. Not the color,
Yeah.
but a little like I want the finest kinky curly that money can buy for free.
Oh, my God. That is the best sentiment I've
I
ever-
want my box braids done at the drop of a hat, and I want them done quickly.
Mm.
I want multiple people working on them, like 4.
Oh
okay?
shit!
I want them done in 2 hours.
Ooh, that's your house.
Thank you, at my home
With
Well,
delivery food.
with delivery food and Netflix. You know what? I want to binge watch Stranger Things, which is what I'm watching at the moment.
Oh, it's so fun.
while somebody does my hair.
I've been thinking too small.
A humble
gift cards. What the fuck am I
I know, I'm
doing?
sitting here like, I'm trying to get a house. Like, what
I changed my answer to Hannah's
property.
answer. We're doing this all wrong.
Oh, my
all wrong.
God.
Okay, so I'm glad that you've been having fun because now we're gonna have a lot more fun because now it's time for pew pew pew.
Oh,
Pew, 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 pew. That's my favorite Hannah sound effect. It is. That's my favorite Hannah sound effect.
That's what I thought.
Yes, you're right. You called me on it. You're right. So rapid fire questions, random.
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite meme?
Ooh.
Ooh. Shit.
You just got so
Okay.
serious in the face.
I'm about to big up my bae right now. This is the first thing that came to mind.
Shucks.
So there's this, okay, so have y'all seen OJ Made in America?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this. Okay, so obviously OJ and his blackness had a contentious relationship.
They've been at odds for a while.
Been at odds for a while.
Right. Not always meeting in the middle.
Really and truly. Yes, my favorite meme right now is this meme that my man made that is okay, like David Cross is Tobias Funke from what's it called? From Arrested Development, right? So Tobias Funke is like this bald-headed white man who looks exactly like David Cross because he is David Cross, the comedian. And there's a picture of him that somehow my boyfriend found wearing a dashiki.
Is it
Because I
this
think
one?
he's supposed to be an anthropologist on the show.
Wait, Hannah's got it.
Yes.
What?
So my man
What
made a
am I
meme.
looking?
He made a meme that said OJ be like.
Especially after that acquittal. He was like, what up, my Negroes?
Yeah.
In all the churches.
I was just like, I was there for the meme's inception.
Mercy.
I can't believe it hasn't taken off. He used all of the hashtags on his personal Instagram account.
What else do you have
Just
to
slide
do?
it over.
That's
and
what I'm
we'll
saying.
See
I'll
if we can
slide
make
it
a little
over.
thing.
Yeah.
on
We'll
the interwebs.
we'll see what we can do. That is funny.
Yeah. So that is my. And also, I mean, this is not a meme, but I'm obsessed with Jay Versace.
Oh my God, that child.
Okay.
I did not learn his name for the longest time. I kept trying to figure. I kept asking. I was like, "Who is this kid?" And they didn't know his name. Jay Versace.
He is everything.
Yes, he's incredible. I'm obsessed with him.
Right.
So everybody here loves you and your mother together.
Yes.
Y'all are just the most adorable. You remind me a lot of me and my mom in that like we are very, very close, but me and my mother don't talk about some of the things that you and your mom talk about.
Oh, yeah.
For
sometimes.
example, booty calls.
For example, booty calls. We don't do all that.
Oh yeah.
But y'all are so cute and I love it so much. What is your mom's favorite childhood story to tell about you?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so one of my mom's favorite childhood stories to tell about me. Okay, so here's one.
Ooh.
So I had to get my hair done. My mom used to go to this woman named Miss Felicia to get her hair done because I'm
As
black.
did everyone.
Right, exactly.
We all got a Miss Felicia somewhere.
Exactly. So Miss Felicia had a hair salon in the upstairs of her home.
Where
So, because where else? So every Saturday, my mom would go to get her hair done with Miss Felicia. And I am still like this to this day. But I went and sat down with Miss Felicia and I was like, "Do you have a license to do this?" I
At
really asked
4 or
that.
5 years old?
Yeah, I was like, "Are you certified? Like, show me some
Is this a
documentation."
legit business you running?
Exactly.
You've always wanted
I
receipts.
made her show me her certificate from Dudley School of Beauty.
Dudley.
Exactly. And if you're a black, then you'll also know that there's a true Dudley salon in Northeast Washington, D.C. If you take
Wow.
the X2 bus, almost out by the first black golf course in the United States.
mercy.
Yes. No. So yeah, she made me I made her show me her Dudley certificate. After that, she didn't do children's hair again until she did my hair when I was 10 years old, right before I started 6th grade.
Wow. So you turned her off of just like all children.
Yeah.
She was I can't deal with.
Yeah, I'm a pain in the ass now. I was a pain in the ass then. It's never going to change. I'm always
Well, at least you're
asking for
consistent.
receipts. Thank you, Hannah.
So aside from maybe the eyeball emoji, what emoji describes you best?
Ooh. I said the eggplant one a lot.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said the eggplant one a lot.
Hey.
But no, I honestly, the heart eyes emoji. I sent, honestly, the heart eyes emoji and also the new moon face. The all black with the eyes being like,
Wait, I don't know how to use the new moon face emoji. What is it? When do people use it?
When you see some real black shit, that's when you send the new moon emoji.
Yeah. I feel like
shit.
it can also be used in response to an eyeball emoji. You know what I mean?
True.
Like you post a little
Okay.
thirst trap, somebody
Right.
hits you with the eyeball emoji and then you
Uh-huh.
hit them with the new moon. Like,
I
hey,
don't-
Like, oh yeah. This is-
yeah, I see you
I'm
seeing
out
me.
here. I see-
Exactly.
And I'm
Like,
out here.
Oh my gosh, I just learned how to use
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page. Yeah, now
Exactly.
you know. What's the wildest food that you've ever put ranch dressing on?
Wow.
Not to shade the Midwest, but
No.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to be real. I'm actually a ranch purist.
What does that mean?
Talk to us.
A lot of people like to put ranch dressing on bizarre foods.
Okay.
I won't even actually really put it on my pizza. And I grew up where people put it on their pizza all the time.
Wait, Hannah's got some feels.
Wait,
Hannah's
do
got
you
some
like ranch
feels.
dressing on pizza?
I do. I never pour it on.
Well, I mean, who does? You'd have to be a
I've
true
seen.
savage.
I love ranch. I don't pour it on, but I like a little.
Yeah,
I like
just
to
like a
dunk
dipper.
little bit. A little
No,
dip.
it's real.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh my God, Thelma Houston, Don't Leave Me This Way. I'm a karaoke queen. I am popping a karaoke.
Really?
I'm a really good singer.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you lay
Give us a
down
little bit.
track?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm gonna sing you guys this only because I've been drinking. I'm gonna
So we
sing
get a
little bit.
concert.
All right, so there's every Christmas at my best friend's auntie's house, we sing Christmas carols, and they always make me sing this specific song.
I'm always
So let me
about
think.
to cry already. Okay.
Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible said, and it still is news.
Oh my God.
Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own.
Money.
You lots of friends.
You got lots of
all
friends.
around. Yeah, y'all can put a drink in me. I'll sing. I won't sing
Yes.
otherwise.
Oh my God.
No, I was learning to sing when I was a kid. I used to be in the children's choruses of the operas at the Detroit Opera House and Michigan Opera Theater. I had all sort of bougie child
Do
activities.
you need a
when I was
manager?
growing up.
Because
Right.
listen, I have no idea what a manager does, but I will find out.
Thank you.
Would you rather have 2 noses or 2 mouths?
Ooh.
Ooh. Well, it's hard because on one hand, if I had 2 mouths, I could eat twice as much.
Okay.
Ooh, and I could eat like maybe different foods at the same time. Do you know what I'm saying? That would
Oh
be
my
popular.
God.
And if I had 2 noses,
Oh,
I can't
shit.
think of anything good that would come from that
No.
except for I
Because
could
you would
talk
just-
twice as much. I could give conflicting answers to y'all's questions. Oh shit! Okay, wait. I want definitely 2 mouths. I want to talk twice as much as I smell. I want to eat twice as much as I smell.
100% the right choice.
Oh man.
Thank you.
Brittany, we have only asked 10% of all the questions that we have here. I'm not even joking.
Because I talk so goddamn much. That's why.
It's because you are wildly interesting and humorous
And delightfully thorough.
Thank you.
and delightfully thorough.
Oh, I'm gonna take that with me. That's
Yeah.
good. Next time somebody's like, "Please shut up," I'll be like, "Excuse me, I'm delightfully thorough."
Why you fronting? Thank you so much for hanging
This
out.
was the best.
What? It was the extra best.
It was really our
extra
pleasure.
best. Oh my God, this is
Um,
the best.
Please come back again so we can ask you the other 90% of our questions.
No problem.
Where can people find you and your work?
So you can find For Colored Nerds at forcolorednerds.com and also on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and anywhere you find podcasts. You can find Sampler. Go to gimletmedia.com. Sampler is there. You can also go to twitter.com/Sampler Show. We're Sampler Show on Twitter. Oh, I should also mention For Colored Nerds at For Colored Nerds on Twitter. Additionally, you can find me on Twitter.
Hey.
Hopefully only on Twitter. At BM Loose. So that's BMLUSE. People think my name is spelled with a C and they're wrong.
Brittany, is so fun.
This was the best.
Thank you.
Hannah, we did it!
Hey.
Woo! Can you? It just brings me so much joy every time. But before we can wrap it up, we've got 2 buy rounds.
Yes, let's do it.
Who or what is your round for?
Well, I'm buying around for something that I fear has been perilously neglected thus far
Oh, my
on the
goodness.
show.
Oh no.
And I love her dearly, but I need to check in with my good friend Heben about
Ooh,
this
ooh.
because she has yet to ever purchase around for Ethiopian food. And
What a glaring oversight
I
on
know.
both of our parts.
I
I
know.
love me some Ethiopian food.
Thank you.
It's so
Same.
good.
I've made Ethiopian food for Heben, so I feel especially injured,
Oh my gosh.
just viscerally.
Here's some
But
tissues,
to
girl,
move
tell me.
away from the pain and to move into the light, I really.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you, Sister Hada.
No, so I mean, I grew up my whole life eating Ethiopian food. I love it. It's my favorite thing to eat, to make, to take people to. So like, if I say that I love you and I've never either taken you to an Ethiopian restaurant or made you Ethiopian food, I might be lying.
Okay.
But
I had to go through my mental Rolodex. I was like, wait a minute, but we've had Ethiopian.
yes,
before.
we have.
Okay.
Never fear.
Okay.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's spicy. It is made to be eaten communally. You have to use your hands, so it's harder for people to just sit around and text and like. You
Yeah.
gotta engage each other
That's
because you gotta
true.
sit close and you gotta eat on the same tray. And you have to like. I learned how to eat defensively because of Ethiopian food. Because like, if you want the
What do
one
you
thing and you know your siblings want the other thing, or like they want the same thing, then you gotta make sure you get a little bit of it first, like
Yeah.
before they get to it.
Right.
So I've learned a lot of life skills through eating Ethiopian food, and it's a great litmus test also for white people. Like
Ooh,
the white
say
people
more.
in my life who I can get down with, who are great. I've taken them to Ethiopian food, and they haven't been weird about it. They've just been like, "Oh, this is delicious," because it is. They haven't been like, "Oh, like what is that?"
Yeah.
like
I
the
don't really
weird.
eat. I don't really do.
Why does it look like
How do
that?
can I have a fork?
What, huh?
Is there a
No, so when I was younger, I grew up feeling like a little bit like ashamed, or like in the way that a lot of immigrant kids do, or a lot of brown kids do, just like this is my food, and like I don't have sandwiches like everybody else. But I think as I've grown up, I've really come to embrace it, and it's wonderful. And if you ask me nicely enough, I will give you good recommendations in New York and DC and LA. But that's all I got.
Very, very generous.
But go have some. Take someone you love.
I'm now starving. Thanks a lot.
Whoops.
Oops. My round is kind of about food as well, sort of a little bit.
Okay.
I am buying around for state fairs
Oh,
because it's state fair time.
I've never been to a state fair.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know.
It's okay. It's not your fault. I've been trying to figure out like if this is like a regional thing, right? Because I've never heard of like a New York state fair, like even like in the outskirts of like rural New York.
Right.
But man, August, it's the Kentucky State Fair, man. It's just the time where you just go and you just eat and everything is fried for no reason. I've had fried Kool-Aid at a state fair.
Talk to me about that logistically.
Okay.
How does that?
So, it makes no sense.
Okay.
I expected it to be like a little like hush puppy type deal, like just like fried dough and you bite into it and like somehow it's just like dripping with Kool-Aid. That's not it. It was just kind of like, imagine a funnel cake with Kool-Aid added into the batter and then you fry it in a little ball and that's that. So that's definitely something that's more like the novelty of it.
I mean, I would consume that.
I would listen if there was a basket of fried Kool-Aid in front of me right now. This podcast would be over because I can't. There's no more talking going on.
Me and Ethiopian food right now.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So the Hamiltons, right?
Okay.
It was a bit of a. I'm gonna pull it back around. But the Hamiltons were at the Indianapolis State Fair or the Indiana State Fair.
Okay.
The Hamiltons, as you should know, are the backup singers for Anthony Hamilton. And Anthony Hamilton, as you should also know, is like just whatever song he sings turns into a Negro spirit show. Like he's got one of those voices. And there is this wonderful clip of them just standing around a billy goat. And they're just singing and asking, whose billy goat is this? And one dude is like feeding them carrots and just like, whose billy goat is this? So I was like, I want to go to the fair right now.
Eat what you got. Whose billy goat is this? Don't you choke, girl. Whose billy goat is this?
So in conclusion, every single state in our illustrious union needs to have a fucking state fair where people can go and eat fried shoelaces and sing songs about billy goats. I don't know. Go to your state fair, everybody. If you do not have a state fair to go to, please enjoy the sounds of the Hamiltons singing Whose Billy Goat Is This? As performed live at the Indiana State Fair.
Beautiful. It's what I'll be doing.
Whose billy goat is this? Whose billy goat is this? Right here.
Thank you to Miss Brittany Luce for coming by the studio finally. It was a pleasure. It was an honor. Hopefully we'll have her back again. Thank you to Hannah for being my lovely guest host. Hannah, where can people find you and your work?
And the Twitter sphere, just Ethiopian, ETHIOPIENNE. And then on BuzzFeed.com/Hannah Georgis, HANNAHGIORGIS.
All right. And you can find me on the internet at Brokey McPoverty. That's broke, like with a Y on it, and then McPoverty, like if McDonald's made poverty. It's the same thing, I guess. And also you can find Heben. Can we have like a very brief Heben like love session? Heben, we love you. We miss you
Dearly.
And Heben will be back very, very soon. I know that everyone loves and misses her, but I promise you no one loves and misses her more than we do here at the show. But you can find her in the meantime on Twitter at Heben, like the place in the sky, and rants like the thing that Donald Trump is probably doing right now. This episode was produced by the Pod Squad. This episode was produced by Eleanor Kagan and Julia Furlon with production help from Meg Kramer. Thank you to Paul Ruest at Argo Studios. We are nothing here without you. You are a gem. Thank you to our in-house musicians, That's Miss Jean Gray. You can follow her on Twitter at Jean Greasy. And Don Will of The Almighty Tanya Morgan. You can follow him on Twitter at Don Will. That's DonWill. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and all the things at Another Round. Email us at anotherround@buzzfeed.com. Sign up for the newsletter. It is so lit. Or in Brittany's words,
incredible.
poppin'. Ooh, that's a good sound too.
Hey.
Lay. Sign up for the newsletter at buzzfeed.com/anotherround/newsletter. Get you an Another Round shirt. Get you an Another Round mug at shop.buzzfeed.com. Drink some water. Take your meds. Call your person. Floss.
Moisturize your scalp.
Oh my God! I just got so hype. Like some
Do it.
coconut oil or some
Before fall hits, for real. Do it. Just start
before that
moisturizing
cold
your
weather
scalp
gets to you.
now.
Podcast, hanging out in the stoop, talking about stuff and things.
Oh my God!
So weird.